Christmas presents are about to cost 35% more. Not because of supply chains, not because of demand, because of tariffs that were supposed to make America great again. The Port of Long Beach is projecting they won't be able to move gifts in time. Your coffee's up 15%, ground beef $11 a pound, and families are choosing between presents and groceries. But the people in this video aren't just complaining, they're adapting, finding solutions, making it work. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's get into it.
Are you buying gifts for everybody for Christmas, or you just buying gifts for the kids? Let me know.
Participation in the Christmas boycott may not be a choice for some families, as the Port of Long Beach says that while the presents will arrive on time, they may be a lot more expensive due to the companies importing them no longer absorbing the cost of the tariffs, which they have been doing up till now. So what you're paying now has not included the price of the tariffs for a lot of things that you've bought. The Port of Long Beach says that there might be a 35% decline in volume due to people not being able to afford presents. And this port's health is crucial for our region in Southern California. It has 2.7 million jobs all around the country and nearly 700,000 in Southern California alone.
The Port of Long Beach is projecting a 35% volume drop. That's not abstract, that's 700,000 jobs at risk because companies can't absorb tariff costs anymore. Here's the reality. When you tax imports, importers don't eat the cost. They pass it to you, every single time. This isn't theory. It's happening right now at checkout. And the people who cheered for these policies, they're discovering that patriotic-sounding economics don't pay bills. China didn't pay the tariffs. You did. You are. You will.
Consumers will likely see price escalation in the coming months as shippers continue to pass along the cost of tariffs on goods, and a higher percentage of those costs will be passed on to the consumer. That means you and I are going to be paying a hell of a lot more for things like coffee, which has already increased 15%.
You do not need to spend a lot of money to get a great gift, and the $5 gift guide is proof that that is true. This is my most popular gift guide of the whole year, year after year after year. This is actually year 15 that I've put out a $5 gift guide. If you'd like to see this year's, which has more than 75 fantastic gift suggestions, comment with the word guide and I'll send it right to your DMs.
Where you can get the viral Home Depot Christmas tree for a fraction of the price, and it's not at Home Depot, it's at Target. Almost the identical tree is at Target for $255, and it is over $400 at Home Depot. I'm going to show you. This is the 7.5-foot tree, almost identical. The branches are almost identical, except for this one looks a little more real than the one at Home Depot. See how it goes from plastic to more real looking? The one at Home Depot does this too, but this one transitions a little more smooth. It also has color changing lights as well. This is the 9-foot tree. It looks very similar. Color changing lights. Almost identical to the other one from Home Depot. Needs a little fluffing down there, but I'm sure they just threw these trees up there and called it a day. For $300. These are Target, guys. Almost the same tree for half the price.
She just saved $150 by walking across a parking lot. That's not extreme couponing. That's basic awareness in an economy working against you. Retailers count on laziness. They count on you not comparing prices. And when tariffs jack up costs on everything manufactured overseas, that laziness gets expensive fast. 5 minutes of research saves you 50%. In an economy where everything costs more, that's not optional anymore. That's survival.
Now let's go check out the trees at Home Depot. I immediately found the Grand Duchess, and look how plasticky the limbs look on this tree. It does have all the cool lights, but I think I like the Target one better.
It is a fact that grocery prices are going up. Where I live, ground beef, $11 a pound. So when Trump goes on 60 Minutes and tells us that prices are way down, it's absolutely insulting, because that right there, that does not lie. That is what we're paying at the register. But the American people were just polled on it. This is the Ground News summary. If you don't know what Ground News is, they're awesome. Go to ground.news/CFH. 6 in 10 blame President Donald Trump for inflation. And right here, 76% of Americans report surging grocery prices because they know they're the ones that are paying the bill at the checkout. So I find it very interesting that only 7% of Trump supporters regret their vote. And the reason is because Trump supporters are not reading stories like this about how unpopular Donald Trump is. Look at this. This is the Ground News media bias chart. 0% of right-leaning media outlets are covering this story and this poll, and that is a problem.
76% of Americans see grocery prices rising. They know because they're paying. But 7% of MAGA supporters regret their vote. The disconnect? 0 right-leaning outlets are covering economic consequences of their own policies. That's not bias, that's information blackout. You can't fix problems you refuse to see. And when your news sources deliberately hide economic damage to protect political identity, you're not informed, you're insulated, and insulation doesn't pay grocery bills. Media literacy isn't political anymore, it's financial, because ignorance costs money. Your money.
If you're an OG follower of mine, you'll remember my father. He was a huge Trump supporter, and I opened his eyes, and I did that by showing him news articles that he has never seen before. And Ground News has that feature built in. It's called the Ground News Blind Spot. This is what I read to prepare my arguments when I'm talking to my father, because he still kind of wavers. So if you want to cut through the propaganda and become media literate, check out ground.news/CFH. Get 40% off the Vantage program. It's pretty cool. I've been using Ground News for a long time. You can check out the link in the link tree in my bio.
Oh, so you think meat is expensive because of the ranchers or imports? No, it's the foreign-owned processing plants that have a monopoly that squeezes farmers and jacks up your prices. See, the price of meat has skyrocketed up to 50% since 2021, and the real culprit is the big four: Tyson, Cargill, JBS, and National Beef. They control 85% of the U.S. beef market, and half of that is foreign-owned by China and Brazil. If that isn't a national security red flag, I don't know what is. With 10% getting shipped overseas, that ties our grocery bills to the global market. Then you add in price fixing, collusion, pandemic profiteering, where plants shut down. Meanwhile, these firms posted $820 million in record profits. Ranchers got crushed, you got gouged, but Trump pushed to enforce the 1921 Packers and Stockyards Act to break the monopoly. But lobbyists dumped over $10 million a year to stall the reform. And now you know why most of us are vegetarians.
4 companies, 85% of American beef, half foreign-owned by China and Brazil. This is the actual scandal. Ranchers get crushed. You pay $11/pound. But Tyson, Cargill, JBS, $820 million in pandemic profits while people couldn't afford meat. The 1921 Packers and Stockyards Act could have broken the monopoly. Lobbyists dropped $10 million to kill it. It died. So when people talk about America first, show them this. American ranchers begged for help. Big Ag wrote checks. Guess who won? Your expensive beef isn't inflation. It's collusion that your government refuses to stop.
You're never going to believe what I just did. I booked a holiday vacation in the month of December to New York City for my 2 kids and me, and all I spent, $33.60. Here's how I did it. We're flying to New York City to experience the magical holiday season, the tree at Rockefeller Center, the lights, hot chocolate at Serendipity, and the airline tickets to get there. Those cost me $33.60 total, out of pocket. How did I do that? Well, I always fly United. I travel for work, and I always book through United. I use their loyalty program, and I stay consistent with that. So I used points for these tickets, and the $33.60 covered the small fees and taxes. All right, now let's talk hotels. Again, I travel for work. I always stay at a Hilton property. Combine that with the fact that I use the American Express Hilton card to pay for my stays, and that has racked up a ton of points over the years. Now, as a side note, I'm considering moving to Marriott, but don't tell anybody about that. That's another story for another day. But for now, it's Hilton, and I was able to book a very nice Hilton for 5 nights using 100% points. So that means that now I can use our vacation budget for fun things like skating at Rockefeller Center, a few fancy desserts instead of a fancy hotel bill. And don't worry, I also have a few tips up my sleeve and ideas for how I'm going to save money when we are actually on the vacation. I will make another video about that later. Follow along if you want those tips. So yeah, I'm excited to take my kids on these vacations that will provide memories of a lifetime, but at the same time won't break the bank.
$33.60 for flights and 5 hotel nights in December Manhattan. That's not luck. That's understanding systems most people ignore. Loyalty programs, points, strategic credit card use. Corporations offer these because they want repeat business. Most people leave thousands in value unclaimed because tracking feels like work. But compare that effort to paying full price in an economy where everything's more expensive? Not even close. She's creating Christmas memories without debt. Most people are putting vacations on 22% interest credit cards. The difference is knowledge.
Can we normalise parents that can't afford to do 1st of December boxes? My 4.5-year-old on the 1st of December will get his Christmas pyjamas and his $3 chocolate advent calendar. These parents that are filling baskets with hundreds of dollars worth of stuff, and I've seen them, it's making it really, really difficult for the parents that can't afford it. Christmas Day is the day for presents. Can we just go back to that, please?
December 1st boxes with hundreds in gifts. For what? Instagram. Your kid doesn't need a $200 basket. They need pajamas and a $3 chocolate calendar. That's the memory. That's the joy. But social media convinced parents that love equals dollars spent. Meanwhile, real families are choosing between gifts and groceries. Normalize being the parent who can't or won't compete with performative parenting. Because half those Instagram parents are in debt anyway. Your kids won't remember the haul. They'll remember you were present.